The stars looked the same as always through the front window of the Dauntless. Captain sat in her chair on the bridge, watching the endless dark of space. Her crew had been out here for 3 months now, mapping new systems and looking for resources. It was boring work, but someone had to do it. Was tired. She wanted coffee, but the machine had broken again yesterday. Her chief engineer Hay Song promised to fix it, but that girl was always busy with something else. The ship had too many small problems and not enough people to fix them all. "Captain, I'm getting something weird," Park said from his station. He was the communications officer, a thin man with glasses that kept sliding down his nose. He pushed them up as he stared at his screen. "Weird how?" asked. She sat up. Weird was never good in space. "It's a signal, encrypted, but it's using a galactic standard format." His fingers flew across his keyboard. "I've seen this before in the database. It's a distress call." Stood up and walked to his station. The rest of the bridge crew turned to look. First Officer Wu frowned from his seat. He was a careful man who didn't like surprises. "Can you decode it?" asked. Nodded. "Already working on it. The encryption is tough, but it's meant to be read by allies. Whoever sent this wants help badly." The bridge went quiet except for the soft beeping of computers. Watched work. Her heart beat faster. Humanity had only been in space for 50 years. They had met a few alien races, but most of them didn't want to talk to humans. Earth was listed as a Class 12 in the galactic databases. That meant it was considered extremely dangerous. Other species thought humans were too violent, too unpredictable. "Got it," said. He put the message on the main screen. A face appeared. It wasn't human. The alien had soft gray skin, large black eyes, and a small mouth. It looked scared, very scared. "This is Captain of the transport ship Morning Wing," the alien said. Her voice was musical but shaky. "We are under attack by raiders. Our shields are failing. We have 300 civilians on board, including children. We are broadcasting to all Axion Concordat military vessels. Please, we need immediate assistance. Our coordinates are attached. We have maybe 6 hours before life support fails. Please help us." The message ended and started to loop again. Wu said quietly, "They're herbivores, peaceful traders. They wouldn't hurt anyone." And the asked, though she already knew the answer. "Raiders, slavers, they take people and sell them." Wu looked at her. "This isn't our problem, Captain. The message is for the Axion Concordat, not us. We're not part of their alliance." Looked at the alien's scared face on the screen. She thought about 300 people trapped on a dying ship, waiting for help that might not come in time. "Where are we in relation to their position?" she asked. Checked his instruments. 6 hours away at maximum speed. "And the Axion fleet?" "The nearest Concordat military base is 3 weeks away, Captain." The bridge went very quiet, could hear her own breathing. "Captain," Wu said carefully, "we can't. The Concordat has strict rules about species interfering in their space. If we show up, it could cause a diplomatic incident. It could damage Earth's chances of joining the galactic community." 300 people, Wu said. "I know, but we have to think about humanity's future. If we break their protocols." "They'll die," interrupted. 300 people in 6 hours. She looked around the bridge. Her tactical officer Jin Lee sat at his station, watching her. Jin was young, maybe 25, but he was smart and fast. He gave her a small nod. He would support whatever she decided. Dr. Han stood in the doorway to the bridge. The ship's doctor must have heard the alert. She was a kind woman who had joined the crew because she wanted to help people. Any people. "What would you do, Doctor?" asked. Didn't hesitate. "I would save them." Wu shook his head. "This isn't a medical question. This is about politics and—" "It's about people dying," said firmly. "That's always a medical question." Made her decision. She had made it the moment she saw the alien's scared face, really. She just needed a moment to accept what it meant. Send a response. Tell them help is coming. Give them our ETA. Captain Wu started. I know the risks, Wu. I know what this could mean. But we didn't survive Earth by ignoring people who needed help. Sat back in her chair. Set course for those coordinates. Maximum speed. Yes, Captain, the helmsman said. The ship's engines hummed louder as they changed direction. Felt the slight push as they accelerated. 6 hours. They had 6 hours to reach a ship full of strangers and face raiders who made a living from violence. Jin, get our weapons ready, everything we have. Jin grinned. It wasn't a nice smile. Yes, ma'am, they won't know what hit them. Wu, I need you to pull everything we have on ships and tactics. I want to know how they fight. Wu sighed, but he nodded. Yes, Captain, though I still think this is a mistake. Noted. Did they respond to our message? Looked confused. Yes, but, Captain, they sound scared of us. The captain is asking if we're really human. She wants to know if we're from Earth. His jaw tightened. She knew what that meant. The aliens were afraid of the raiders, but they were also afraid of humans. They had heard the stories. Predators, violent apes from a nightmare planet. Tell her yes. Tell her we're human and we're coming to help anyway. Sent the message. They waited. The response came a minute later. She says thank you. But she also says to please not hurt her people. She's asking us to be gentle. The bridge crew exchanged glances. It stung a little thought. They were risking their lives to help, and the aliens were already afraid they'd be monsters. Tell her we'll do our best, said quietly. Keep monitoring their situation. Jin, I want a full weapons check in 1 hour. Wu, brief me on the in my ready room in 10 minutes. And me, Captain, Doctor asked. Prepare the medical bay. We might have wounded, theirs or ours. Stood and looked at the stars ahead. 6 hours. In 6 hours they would find out if humans really were the monsters the galaxy feared, or if they were something else entirely. She walked to her ready room, her mind already planning the battle to come. Behind her, the bridge crew worked with quiet efficiency. They were scared too, she knew. But they were also human, and humans didn't leave people to die. Not even strangers, not even aliens who were afraid of them. The Dauntless flew through the dark, racing toward a battle that would change everything. The Dauntless dropped out of faster-than-light travel with a shudder that ran through the whole ship, gripped her chair as the view screen cleared, and showed them what they had come to find. 3 ships hung in space around a smaller vessel. The raiders were bigger than expected, dark and angular with red lights along their hulls. They looked like predators, which made sense. They were predators. The ship looked like a dying bird. Its shields flickered weakly, showing holes where they had blasted through. Scorch marks covered the hull. As watched, another blast hit the ship, making it spin slowly. Get me a scan, ordered. Jin's fingers danced across his console. 3 warships, Captain. Heavy weapons, decent shields. They've been hammering them for hours. The transport's shields are at 8%, maybe less. Life signs on the transport. Reading about 285. They've lost people. Jin's voice was grim. Felt anger build in her chest. 15 people were already dead. Children, maybe, families. Open a channel to the ship. The screen changed. The gray-skinned alien captain appeared, looked worse than in her recording. Her large eyes were wider with fear and her hands shook. You came, whispered. Then she saw the human ship behind through the video feed and her fear deepened. You're really from Earth. Captain of the Earth ship Dauntless said, keeping her voice calm. We received your distress call. We're here to help. Looked at something off screen, probably talking to her crew. Could hear frightened voices in the background, speaking a language the computer couldn't translate fast enough. The Axion fleet asked hopefully. 3 weeks away, we were closer, leaned forward. Captain, I know you're afraid of us. I know what Earth's reputation is. But right now, we're all you've got. Will you accept our help? Small mouth trembled. She closed her eyes. When she opened them, there was resignation there. Yes, please, please don't hurt my people. I promise you we won't, said. The channel closed. It hurt more than wanted to admit. They had come all this way, and the people they were saving were terrified of them. Captain, they are hailing us, said. Put them on. A new face appeared. This one was all sharp angles and scales. They had red eyes and a mouth full of pointed teeth. It looked every bit the predator it was supposed to be. Unknown vessel, you are interfering with a legal salvage operation, the commander said. Its voice was harsh and grating. Depart immediately or be destroyed. Smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. This is captain of the Earth vessel Dauntless. That's not a salvage operation. That's an attack on a civilian transport. You have one chance. Leave now. The commander tilted its head, then it laughed. Earth, your kind isn't even part of the Concordat. You have no authority here. One ship against 3. Leave, little ape, before we add your crew to our merchandise. Jin made an angry sound, raised her hand to quiet him. I gave you a chance, said quietly. Jin, light them up. The channel closed, sat back in her chair. Wu, move us between the raiders and the ship. Jin, weapons free. Show them why Earth is called a. The Dauntless moved fast, much faster than the expected. Human ships were built different. They had to be. Earth didn't have the fancy energy shields other species used. Earth didn't have the advanced weapons that could destroy planets. What Earth had was old-fashioned human engineering. And that was enough. Charged, Jin said. His voice was excited now. Missiles locked, targets acquired. Fire. The Dauntless roared, were simple weapons. They used magnets to throw metal very, very fast. The galactic species thought they were primitive, barbaric even. They preferred energy weapons that were clean and precise. But energy weapons could be blocked by the right shields. Kinetic weapons, physical objects moving at incredible speeds, were much harder to stop. The first ship's shields flared as the rounds hit. Then they started to fail. The physical impacts were too much, too fast. One round, then another, then 3 more. The shields collapsed. Missiles followed. Simple chemical rockets with explosive warheads. Nothing fancy, just effective. The ship's hull cracked open. Atmosphere vented into space in white clouds. The ship spun away, lights flickering. First target disabled, Jin reported. Engaging second target. They weren't stupid. They scattered, trying to surround the Dauntless. They opened fire with their energy weapons, bright beams that looked beautiful and deadly. The beams hit the Dauntless and didn't do much. Human ships had thick armor, heavy plates of metal and composite materials. The beams burned the surface but didn't penetrate. Their weapons are designed for shields, Wu said, reading his tactical display. They're not made for armor this thick. Our turn again, said Jin. More fire, more missiles. The second ship tried to dodge, but it was too slow, too used to fighting enemies that played by galactic rules. Humans didn't have rules in combat. They had tactics. The second ship took hits along its engine section. Something exploded inside, and the ship went dark. The third ship stopped attacking. It hung in space, probably trying to figure out what was happening. How one Earth ship had destroyed 2 warships in less than 5 minutes. They're hailing us again, said. Put them on. A different appeared. This one looked older with more scars. Earth ship, cease fire, we surrender, we're leaving. Not good enough, said coldly. You have prisoners, people you've already taken, release them. The bared its teeth. Those are legal acquisitions. No, interrupted. They're people. Release them now, or I'll tear your ship apart and take them back myself. The stared at her. In its red eyes saw the moment it realized she meant every word. Humans weren't just violent. They were stubborn. They didn't make threats they wouldn't follow through on. Releasing the cargo hold, they said quietly. 23 individuals, various species, we're detaching our shuttle now. Good, now run. If I ever see your ship near Concordat space again, I won't give you a warning shot." The ship turned and fled. Its faster-than-light engines engaged, and it vanished in a flash of light. "The shuttle is drifting toward us," said. "I'm reading life signs that was telling the truth." "Bring them aboard," ordered. "Doctor, you're going to be busy. We have rescued prisoners who probably need medical attention." "On my way to the airlock now," his voice came over the intercom. Opened a channel to the ship again. Appeared, her eyes huge with shock. You destroyed them, 2 ships. You destroyed them in minutes." "We disabled them," corrected. "They can be repaired. We don't kill unless we have to." "But you would have," said. "It wasn't a question." Didn't answer that. Instead she said, "Your ship is badly damaged. We can escort you to the nearest station, or you can come aboard the Dauntless while we make repairs. Your choice." Looked at someone off screen again, heard urgent whispering, finally turned back. "We'll accept your escort, my people. They're very afraid. They've never seen combat like that, so brutal, so fast." "War isn't pretty," said quietly, "but it's over now, you're safe." "Are we?" asked. Her eyes held a strange expression. "We're safe from the yes, but now we're here with you, with humans, with—" Felt that sting again. They had saved these people, and the people were still scared. "We're not going to hurt you," said firmly. "We came here to help, that's all. When you're safe at a station, we'll leave. You'll never have to see us again if you don't want to." She cut the channel before could respond. The bridge was quiet, looked at her crew. They had won, but nobody looked happy about it. "Captain," Jin said softly, "we did the right thing." "I know," said. "Doesn't make it feel better." "The rescued prisoners are aboard," reported. "Doctor says they're in bad shape, dehydrated, injured, but they'll live." Nodded. 23 people saved. 285 more on the ship. All alive because the Dauntless had answered a distress call meant for someone else. She looked at the damaged transport on the view screen. It limped along beside them now, heading for safety. "Set course for the nearest Concordat station," ordered. "And someone get me that coffee. I don't care if the machine is still broken. I need coffee." Nervous laughter rippled through the bridge. The tension broke just a little. As the Dauntless and its rescued ships moved through space, thought about what came next. The Axion Concordat would hear about this. Earth had interfered in their space, broken their protocols, used violence. But Earth had also saved lives. She hoped that would matter. She really hoped it would matter. The alert came 2 hours into their journey to the Concordat station. Was in her quarters, finally drinking the terrible coffee that Hei Song had managed to coax from the broken machine, when Wu's voice crackled over the intercom. "Captain, you need to get to the bridge, now." Ran. When she burst onto the bridge, everyone was staring at the tactical display. 4 new ships had appeared on their sensors. She asked. "Worse," Jin said. "It's the flagship, the ship that hired the raiders we fought, and it brought friends." The view screen showed a massive vessel, twice the size of the ones they had disabled. 3 smaller warships flanked it. They had appeared between the Dauntless and the station, blocking the way forward. "They're hailing us," said. "Audio and video." "Put them through." A commander appeared on screen. This one wore decorative armor and had scars across its scaled face. It looked old and mean. "Earth ship," the said, its voice dripping with contempt. "You humiliated my subordinates. You freed my property. You have no idea what you've done." "I know exactly what I did," said. "I stopped you from murdering innocent people." The showed all its teeth in what might have been a smile. "Innocent? The owe my employer a debt. We were collecting. Now you've interfered and my employer wants compensation. You will surrender your ship, your cargo, and the vessel, or we will take them." "No," said simply. The looked surprised. "You're outnumbered. Your little tricks worked on scouts. This is my flagship. We have real weapons, real shields. Your primitive guns won't save you now." Looked at Jin, assessment. Jin didn't look happy. He's right, Captain. That flagship has military-grade shields. Our might not penetrate, and 4 ships against 1. The math isn't good. Captain's voice came over the comm. The captain sounded panicked. Please don't fight them. We'll surrender. We'll go with them. Just save yourselves. Muted the channel to the ship. She looked at her crew. They were scared. They had a right to be, but none of them looked like they wanted to run. Options asked. We could call for help, Wu suggested. Send a distress call to Earth. Help would take weeks to arrive, said. We could run, offered quietly. Our engines are fast. We might make it to the station before they catch us. And leave the shook her head. No. Then we fight, Jin said. His jaw was set. Maybe we can't win, but we can hurt them. We can make them regret coming after us. Thought about it, 4 ships, military grade. They had won before by surprising the enemy, by using tactics they didn't expect. But surprise only worked once. Then she had an idea. A crazy, desperate idea. The kind of idea that only made sense if you were human. Said into her comm, calling the Marine commander. Get your team ready. Full combat gear. I need you to do something that's probably going to sound insane. Marine Commander Sung's voice came back. I like insane. What's the mission? We're going to board their flagship. The bridge went silent. Everyone stared at like she had lost her mind. Captain, Wu said carefully, that's suicide. Even if we get close enough, their security will kill our boarding party in seconds. Maybe, said, but think about it. They expect us to fight ship to ship. They don't expect us to get personal. And if we can take their command center, take their commander hostage, the other ships might back down. Might, Wu emphasized. It's a chance. Better than fighting 4-to-1 odds in a straight battle. Turned to Jin. Can you get us close enough to dock? Jin was quiet for a moment, running calculations. If we use the ship as cover, if we kill our engines and drift, if they think we're surrendering, maybe, it's risky. Everything's risky, said. She opened the channel to the flagship again. The commander was still there, waiting. Have you decided to surrender? Give me 5 minutes to talk to my crew, said. This is hard for them, 5 minutes. Then I'll give you my answer. The studied her, 5 minutes, then we open fire. The channel closed. Cut all outgoing transmissions except to the ship. I don't want the hearing this. Turned to Wu. You have command of the Dauntless. If this goes wrong, you run. Get to the station, tell them what happened. Captain. That's an order, Wu. Called again. How many Marines can you field? 20 ready for combat, full gear. Not enough, muttered. Then she thought about the rescued prisoners, 23 beings from different species. Go to the medical bay. Ask doctor if any of the rescued prisoners can fight. Offer them weapons. Captain, most of them are traumatized, weak. They might not. Ask them, tell them they are back. Tell them they can run or they can fight. Let them choose. 20 minutes later, reported back. 12 of them volunteered. They're not trained, but they're angry. One of them is a big species, strong. He says he owes you a blood debt for the rescue. Give them weapons. Give them a crash course in human squad tactics, 10 minutes. Went to the armory herself. She put on combat armor for the first time in years. It felt heavy but right. She checked her rifle, her sidearm, her combat knife. Everything humanity had learned about fighting in harsh environments, fighting things that wanted to kill you. All that knowledge packed into equipment and tactics. Doctor met her in the hallway. The doctor looked worried. You don't have to do this, said. They would surrender, they'd survive. As slaves, said. I didn't come out here to watch people become slaves. Sighed, then take this. She handed a medical kit. And try not to die, I hate paperwork. Smiled, I'll do my best. The boarding party assembled in the airlock. 20 human Marines, 12 rescued prisoners who wanted revenge, and 33 against a flagship full of warriors. Looked at his squad. Listen up. They are bigger than us, stronger than us, but they fight like predators. One-on-one combat, honor duels, we don't fight like that. He pulled up a tactical display. We use squad tactics, we use crossfire, we use smoke, flash grenades, everything that makes them confused. We don't fight fair. Fair fights are for people who want to die. We fight to win. Understood? Understood, sir, the Marines said in unison. The rescued prisoners nodded. They looked scared but determined. The big, who towered over even the tallest human, cracked his knuckles. I have been a prisoner for 3 months. I want to hurt them. You'll get your chance, promised. Opened a channel to Jin on the bridge. We're ready, get us in. Understood, Captain, beginning approach now, and good luck. The Dauntless began to move. It drifted toward the flagship, engines cold, looking defeated. The ships didn't fire. They were waiting for surrender. Watched through a porthole as they got closer and closer to the massive vessel. She could see weapon ports along its hull, hangar bays, armor plating that looked thick enough to stop anything. 30 seconds to contact, Jin's voice said in her earpiece. The Marines checked their weapons one last time. The rescued prisoners did the same, their movements awkward but eager. 10 seconds. Took a deep breath. She thought about Earth, about humanity's long history of fighting impossible odds, every predator that hunted early humans, every disaster that should have wiped them out, every war, every struggle, every time someone said humans couldn't survive. And humans survived anyway. Contact. The Dauntless touched the flagship's hull. Magnetic clamps engaged with a loud clunk. Cutting torches activated, burning through the outer airlock. Hull breach in 3, 2, 1. The airlock blew open. Alarms screamed on the other side. Security forces were already rushing to the breach point, weapons ready. Go, 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 shouted. The Marines poured through the opening. Smoke grenades went first, filling the corridor with thick gray clouds. Flash bangs followed, blinding and deafening the defenders. Then came the humans, moving in perfect coordination. 2 teams, crossfire patterns, covering each other's advance. Not individual warriors, but one unified machine of violence. They tried to fight. They were fierce and strong and had sharp claws and teeth. But they fought alone, each warrior trying to prove their individual strength. The humans fought together. Would charge one Marine, only to be shot from the side by another. They would try to corner a soldier, only to find themselves surrounded by 3 more. It wasn't honorable, it wasn't fair, it was efficient. And efficiency, thought as she led her boarding party deeper into the ship, was the most human thing of all. The battle for the flagship had begun. The flagship's corridors were dark and twisted. Emergency lights flashed red as boarding party pushed forward. The defenders fell back, confused and disorganized. They had never fought an enemy like this before. Left corridor clear, reported in her earpiece, heading to Junction 7. Right corridor secure, another Marine called out. 2 down, non-lethal rounds, they're alive. Led the center group. The big stayed close to her, using his massive body as a shield. His name was, and he moved with surprising speed for someone so large. Command center should be 3 levels up, said, checking her tactical display. We need to move fast before they lock it down completely. They reached a stairwell, motioned for 2 Marines to check it. They tossed in a small camera drone. The feed showed warriors waiting in ambush on the landing above, weapons ready. Classic ambush position, said, studying the feed. They think we'll walk right into it. Smoke and flanking, suggested. No need to get fancy, pulled out a small device from his pack. We brought party favors. He tossed the device up the stairwell. It bounced twice, then released a high-pitched sonic pulse. The on the landing above roared in pain, their sensitive hearing overwhelmed. They stumbled out of position, clutching their heads. The Marines were already moving, climbing fast, securing the disoriented with zip ties. Clean, Efficient. No deaths necessary. I thought humans were supposed to be savage, rumbled as they climbed. This is very controlled. We're savage when we need to be, said. Right now we need to be smart. Dead enemies can't tell their friends to stop fighting. They reached the command level. The doors were sealed, heavy blast doors designed to protect the ship's nerve center. Normally, it would take hours to cut through. Looked at the door, then at her Marines. Hey, you said you could hack any system. I said I could try. Hey Song's voice came through the comm. The engineer was still on the Dauntless, working remotely. Give me a visual on the door controls. One of the Marines held up a camera. Hay studied the alien technology for a moment. Okay, that's actually pretty simple. It's keyed to biosignatures. You needed to open it. Looked at the zip-tied prisoners they had taken. She walked to one, a younger who looked scared. She knelt down to its level. What's your name? She asked. The stared at her with wide red eyes. You speak our language. My computer translates. I asked your name. I am Junior Security Officer. This voice shook. Are you going to kill me? No, said firmly. I'm going to ask you to open that door. I can't, the commander will. Your commander is going to get everyone on this ship killed, interrupted. We didn't come here to destroy your ship. We came to protect but if your commander keeps fighting, people will die. Yours and mine. Help me stop this. Looked at her for a long moment. Why should I trust her? Because I'm asking instead of forcing you. Because I haven't killed any of your crew yet. Because right now I'm the best chance any of us have to survive this. Held out her hand. Help me. Slowly nodded. Cut my bonds. Started to protest but waved him off. She cut the zip tie. Stood, rubbing their wrists. Then they walked to the door and placed their hand on the bioscanner. The door hissed open. The command center beyond was chaos. Officers shouted orders, screens showed the boarding party's progress, and in the center of it all stood the commander. Traitor, the commander roared at. Stop this, shouted back. They've taken 3 levels without killing anyone. They don't want to destroy us. They just want us to leave the alone. Weak fool, the commander snarled. It drew a wicked-looking blade. I'll kill you myself. Step between them. You'll have to go through me first. The commander laughed, gladly. It charged. It was fast, faster than expected. The blade came down in a vicious arc. Barely dodged, the blade missing her throat by inches. Captain raised his weapon but shouted, No, don't shoot. She understood now. The commander wanted single combat, a duel. It was the way. And if she shot the commander, the rest of the crew might fight to the death rather than surrender. Drew her combat knife. It was smaller than the commander's blade. She was smaller than the commander, but she had something that didn't. She had training from a. The commander attacked again, powerful strikes meant to overwhelm. Didn't try to match strength with strength. She dodged, redirected, used the commander's momentum against it. Earth fighting styles weren't about honor or proving strength. They were about survival. Every martial art humanity ever developed came from the same place, the need to defeat bigger, stronger opponents. Let the commander tire itself out. She waited for an opening. When it came, she was ready. The commander overextended on a thrust, grabbed the commander's weapon arm, and used a joint lock that worked regardless of species. The commander howled as its arm was forced into an unnatural angle. Its blade clattered to the floor. Put her knife to the commander's throat. Surrender, she said quietly. The command center had gone silent. Every officer stared at their defeated commander. Impossible, the commander whispered. You're smaller, weaker. I'm human, said. We've been fighting things bigger and stronger than us since before we had language. It's what we do. She pressed the knife a little harder. Last chance. Order your ships to stand down, let the go, or I end this right now. The commander's red eyes burned with hate, but slowly, very slowly, it spoke. All ships, stand down, cease attack, withdraw to minimum safe distance. Could hear the order being transmitted. She waited, her knife still at the commander's throat, until Wu's voice came over her earpiece. "Captain, the fleet is pulling back. They're moving away from the ship." Let out a breath she didn't know she was holding. "Good." She looked at the officers. "Anyone else want to try their luck, or can we talk like civilized beings?" No one moved. "Excellent," lowered her knife but kept it ready. "Now let's discuss why you were really attacking and don't lie to me. My crew intercepted your communications. We know you were hired." The commander glared at her but said nothing. The young officer stepped forward hesitantly. "I can tell you," said. "I have access to the contract files." The commander growled, but's knife convinced it to stay quiet. Moved to a console and pulled up data. "We were hired by a corporation, shipping's main competitor. They wanted the Morning Wing's cargo delayed or destroyed. The competition was too strong, so they hired us to make it look like a random raid." Felt sick, so this wasn't about slavery, it was about business. "The slavery part was just bonus," said quietly. "Extra profit." "Show me the contract, all of it." Worked the console. Files appeared on screen, detailed contracts with electronic signatures. Evidence of corporate conspiracy, of hired violence, of civilized species using raiders as proxies. "Are you seeing this?" asked. "Recording everything," Captain's voice came back. This is big. If the Concordat sees this evidence, it could cause a major scandal." Looked around the command center, at the defeated, at her Marines standing ready, and the other rescued prisoners who had fought alongside humans. "Here's what's going to happen," said clearly. "You're going to copy all these files and give them to us. Then you're going to return to wherever you came from. You're going to tell everyone that humans don't tolerate slavers or corporate thugs, and you're never going to come near space again." "And if we refuse?" the commander asked. "Then we transmit these files to every news outlet in the galaxy. Your corporate client gets exposed. The Concordat investigates. You lose your contracts, your reputation, and probably your freedom. Your choice." The commander was silent for a long moment. Finally, it nodded to, "Give them the files." "Good decision," said. She looked at, "Pull our people back, we're done here." As the boarding party retreated to the Dauntless, kept her weapon ready. She didn't trust the Knot to try something stupid, but they seemed broken, defeated not just in combat but in spirit. Followed them to the airlock. "Human captain," the young called out. Turned. "Thank you for not killing us," said. "We thought only new violence, but you showed mercy. Why?" Considered the question. "Because violence is a tool, not a way of life. We're good at it because we had to be, but that doesn't mean we enjoy it." "I will remember this," said. The boarding party returned to the Dauntless. As soon as the airlock sealed, collapsed into a chair in the corridor, adrenaline finally fatting. Doctor appeared with her medical scanner. "Any injuries?" "Just my pride," said. "I can't believe that actually worked." "You boarded an enemy flagship with 33 people and took control without a single death," said. "That's not pride, that's a miracle." "That's humanity," corrected, sitting down beside. His Marines were already celebrating, sharing stories with the rescued prisoners. Was laughing, a deep rumbling sound as he retold the battle from his perspective. Watched them. Different species, different backgrounds, working together because humans had shown them how. Maybe, she thought, the galaxy didn't need to fear. Maybe it needed to learn from them. The Concordat station was beautiful. It hung in space like a crystal flower, all elegant curves and shimmering lights. Ships from dozens of species docked at its many ports. This was civilization, the jewel of the Axion Concordat. And the Dauntless was bringing it a problem. "Multiple ships approaching," reported. "Reading Axion military signatures. They're big, Captain." watched the sleek warships take up positions around them. They didn't point weapons, but the message was clear. The Dauntless wasn't going anywhere until the Concordat decided what to do with it. Incoming transmission said, "It's Admiral of the Axion Fleet." "Put it through." A face appeared on screen, not a face like humans knew it. Admiral was a crystalline being, all hard angles and facets that caught the light. They were beautiful in an alien way. Their voice was precise and musical. "Earth Vessel Dauntless," said, "you have violated Concordat protocols by interfering in regulated space without authorization. You have engaged in military action against a registered corporate security force. You have caused an incident that could have major political consequences." Waited, there was more coming. "You have also," continued, and their tone softened slightly, "saved 300 lives, exposed corporate corruption, and prevented a humanitarian disaster. The Concordat is uncertain how to proceed." "May I dock at your station?" asked. "I'd prefer to have this conversation face to face." Was quiet for a moment. "You wish to come aboard. You must know that many species fear humans. Your presence could cause panic." "Then it's a good time to show them we're not monsters," said. "Admiral, I'm coming to your station whether you want me to or not. You can either shoot me or talk to me. I'm hoping you'll choose talking." A sound came from that might have been laughter. "You are very bold for someone surrounded by warships. Very well, docking port 17. Come alone, please, and unarmed." The channel closed. "Captain, you can't go alone," Wu protested. "I have to. This is about building trust." Stood. "You have command. If something happens to me, take the ship home and tell Earth what we learned out here." "Nothing's going to happen to you," Doctor said firmly, "because I'm coming with you." "Dead?" "You said unarmed, not alone. I'm a doctor, not a soldier. I'm the least threatening human on this ship," smiled. "Besides, if they're going to judge humanity, they should see all sides of us." Couldn't argue with that logic. The docking procedure was tense. Station security met them at the airlock, beings with weapons that looked organic and deadly. They scanned and thoroughly, confirming they carried no weapons. The station interior was stunning. High ceilings, art from 1,000 worlds, beings from dozens of species walking in harmony, and they all stopped to stare as the two humans passed. Heard whispers, "From Earth, look at their eyes forward-facing like predators. I heard they eat meat. They killed with their bare hands." The fear was palpable. Parents pulled their children closer. Shopkeepers stepped back into their stores. Security forces tensed. Doctor noticed a small being, maybe a child, crying in fear. She knelt down slowly, making herself smaller and less threatening. "Hey, it's okay. I'm not going to hurt you." The child's parent pulled it away. "Stay back." Stood up slowly, sadness in her eyes. "This is going to be harder than we thought," she whispered too. They reached the Admiral's office. Stood by a window overlooking space, their crystalline body refracting light into rainbows. "Captain Dr. Han, please sit." Gestured to chairs that were designed for beings very different from humans. Sat anyway, trying to look comfortable. "I've reviewed your recordings," said. "The battle with the boarding action, the evidence you recovered." They turned to face directly. "You've created a significant problem for us." "We saved lives," said. "Yes, and in doing so you've revealed corruption within Concordat space. A major corporation hiring raiders to attack competitors. This will require investigation, trials, political upheaval." Facets seem to dim. "Many beings will lose their positions. Some may face criminal charges." "Good," said flatly. "They deserve it." "Perhaps, but it creates instability, and the Concordat values stability above almost all else." Moved closer. "You must understand, Captain. The galaxy has been at peace for 3 centuries. We achieved this through careful protocols, regulated behavior, and controlled interactions between species." "And ignoring injustice when it's inconvenient?" asked. Sometimes, yes, admitted. It is not perfect, but it has prevented wars that would kill billions. What about the who would have died yesterday? Do they count? Was silent for a long moment. That is the question, isn't it? Individual lives versus collective stability. The Concordat has always chosen stability. And humans choose differently, said. We can't ignore people in trouble, it's not in our nature. We're social creatures, Doctor, we evolved to protect our communities. When we see someone suffering, we help, even strangers, even aliens. Even when it's dangerous, observed. Even when it violates protocols. This is what makes you unpredictable, dangerous. Or useful, spoke up, both in turn to look at her. Admiral, with respect, the Concordat's stability failed yesterday. The sent a distress call and help was weeks away. The system broke down. You needed someone who would act, not debate protocols. A fair point, acknowledged. But what happens when we have dozens of human ships flying around Concordat space, breaking protocols whenever they feel it's justified? How do we maintain order? You don't maintain it, said. You build it together. Look, I get it. We're new, we're scary. We come from a world where everything tries to kill us, so we learn to be really good at violence. But we also learned something else. She leaned forward. We learned cooperation. On Earth, the only way to survive was to work together. Different groups, different cultures, all fighting our planet's challenges as one species. And you think this translates to galactic society? Asked. I think you could use some people who are willing to get their hands dirty when your protocols fall short, said. Not as conquerors or tyrants, as partners. An alarm sounded, facets flared with light. What now? A communication came through. Admiral, the fleet has returned. They're attacking the transport again. They claim the humans stole their property and they're reclaiming it by force. Was on her feet instantly. Those bastards, they waited until I was off my ship. Your vessel? Asked. Already moving to intercept, the communications officer reported. The human ship is engaging the. Moved to a display showing the battle. The Dauntless was outnumbered again, but Wu was flying the ship with desperate skill. Fire tore through space. The transport was trying to run, but it was too slow, too damaged. Your crew is brave, said, but they can't win against those numbers. Then help them, said. Admiral, this is your chance to show what the Concordat really stands for. Do you maintain stability by letting raiders attack civilian transports, or do you protect the innocent? Stood motionless, could almost see the calculations happening behind those crystalline eyes, politics, protocols, precedents. Then made a decision. All Axion vessels engage the fleet, protect the transport, coordinate with the human ship. Admiral, the communications officer sounded shocked. You heard me. They are attacking civilians in Concordat space. That violates every treaty we have. Engage. The Axion warships moved. They were elegant and beautiful, all smooth lines and energy weapons. They fought nothing like humans. Where the Dauntless was brutal and direct, the Axion ships were precise and coordinated. But they fought together. Watched as Jin coordinated targeting with the Axion tactical officers. The human broke shields, and the Axion energy weapons followed through. Wu's aggressive flying gave the Axion ships openings they wouldn't have had otherwise. Different species, different tactics, one goal. The fleet broke. They jumped to faster-than-light speed, fleeing the combined force. The battle was over in minutes. The transport is secure, communications officer reported. No casualties. The human ship is requesting permission to dock for repairs. Looked at, your people fight well, but more importantly, they fight smart. They adapted to our tactics, made us more effective. That's what humans do, said. We adapt, we cooperate, we survive. I'm beginning to see that. Seemed to come to a decision. Captain, I am going to propose something to the Concordat Council, something that has never been done before. What? A provisional alliance with Earth. Not full membership yet. You're too new, too unknown, but a special arrangement. When the Concordat needs intervention in situations where our protocols are insufficient, we call you. You want us to be your hired guns? Asked carefully. No, I want you to be our specialists, our experts in unconventional solutions. Facets brightened. You would have the authority to act in emergencies, to save lives when our slow processes would fail. In exchange, Earth gets access to Concordat technology, trade, and knowledge. Thought about it, it wasn't perfect. It meant humans would be doing the dangerous jobs, the messy work that civilized species avoided. But it also meant Earth would have allies, protection, a place in the galaxy. What are the conditions? Asked. You follow Concordat law when possible. You minimize casualties. You work with our forces, not against them. And most importantly, you teach us. Show us how to be brave when it matters. We can do that, said, on one condition of our own. Which is? You stop calling us like it's an insult. We're human. We're from Earth. We're survivors. And we're going to be your partners, not your monsters. Extended a hand. It was a human gesture learned from databases. Agreed, partners. Shook the crystalline hand carefully. It felt like holding sharp glass, but the intent behind it was warm. The alliance was born. Weeks later, back on the Dauntless heading toward Earth, gathered her senior crew. So we're going to be the galaxy's emergency responders, Jin said. The ones they call when everything goes wrong. Sounds about right, agreed. We'll be hated, Wu said. The civilized species will fear us, see us as necessary but dangerous. Maybe, Doctor said, but we'll also save lives, make friends, show them what humanity really is. We'll be the first, added. The first humans in Concordat space. Everything we do will set the example for Earth. Looked at her crew. They had answered a distress call meant for someone else. They had fought when they could have run. They had shown mercy when they could have been ruthless. They had been human. I received a message from Captain, said. She wanted to thank us personally. She said she was wrong about us. That aren't monsters. We're just people trying to do the right thing in a dangerous universe. That's all anyone can ask, said softly. Stood at the window, watching the stars. Earth was out there somewhere, home to 8 billion humans who didn't yet know what awaited them among the stars. When we get home, we'll make our report. Earth will join the Concordat. Humans will spread across the galaxy, and everywhere we go, we'll carry one message. What message? Jin asked. Smiled. That survival isn't about being the strongest it's about being willing to help each other. That's the lesson Earth taught us. That's what we'll teach the galaxy. The Dauntless flew on through the dark, carrying its crew toward home and toward a future where humans were no longer alone, where and civilized species stood together, where an SOS sent in desperation could be answered by anyone willing to help, even if help came from the most unexpected place in the galaxy, even if it came from Earth.